Hey, what's up? I'm Pat, and this is Real Talk Out of the Closet. And today I'm going to be discussing the differences that I experienced um, between a heterosexual and my lesbian relationship. Um, I'm sure you've all put two and two together by now and figured out that I was in a long-term heterosexual relationship. Um, I'm not going to lie and say that I did not love the man. I did love him very much. Honestly, I could probably even say that I was in love with him, just not the way that a heterosexual woman should be in love with her husband. Um, for the simple fact that I knew I wasn't a heterosexual woman. And even though I tried for years um, to be that, I knew I wasn't. So, anyways, the first thing that I want to get into about that is when you're with a man in a relationship, especially from my generation where men were men, and men didn't cry, men didn't show their emotions. A lot of the men and boys in this generation, um, they they're a little more in tune with their feelings. I'm not saying all of them, but some of them. But my generation, not so many. If you was a man, you had to be a man, okay? And that meant showing no emotions, um, not opening up, not discussing your feelings. And that was a difficult thing for me to have to live with, for one thing. Um, Not that being with a woman is easier, because we all know we could be bitches, okay? Um, we have mood swings, we have the monthly mood swings on top of mood swings because we don't feel good or we had a hard day at work or whatever the case might be. And then in my case, being 50 something, I've got the perimenopausal issues to deal with that cause even more mood swings, and the same with my partner. Um, but the differences that I've noticed is women, not all of them, and this is something that I am trying to get my partner to do a little bit more. She's not used to being with someone that is interested in her feelings. But she's coming around. She's starting to be able to open up to me, and but we both have an understanding of that. Okay, but in past relationships that I've had with women, I've found that women find it easier to open up and discuss their feelings. Um, One thing that about being in a heterosexual relationship is you usually had your friends, he usually had his, um, and you didn't mind spending that little bit of time apart or whatever, um, giving him his space, you taking yours. Um, to be honest, I a lot of times wish I had more space than what I did, but so in a lesbian relationship, yes, you both have your separate friends, but you find yourself wanting to be with your partner all the time, all the time, all the time. And something that I'm having to struggle with myself is the fact of free time, okay, my time. her time. I don't know. I get my time because we work separate hours, so in the evenings I'm getting to settle down and, you know, be me and be, have the quietness, whereas she's working in the evenings, so, and then all during the day running errands, so it's really not time for herself. Um, and I get kind of selfish sometimes, and I want, when she has free time and I have free time, I want it to just be us, and it's not always that way. But I've found that one of the main differences as far as heterosexual and lesbian relationships is how we look at sex or lovemaking. Honestly, I don't think that there was ever a lovemaking encounter between my ex-husband and myself. Um, it was always sex, in my opinion. There was no compassion, um, no tenderness. We just didn't connect on that spiritual and emotional level like that. Whereas women, I find it's easier to connect on every level. Emotionally, physically, mentally, okay, spiritually. Um, I'm a very strong believer that when we come together in that way, we're passing energy, okay? Um, and I don't want bad energy. I want good energy. So, um, I'm not one that can do that if I had a bad day or you had a bad day and we're both a little bit grumpy. And when it's, time to go to bed, it's time to go to bed. Okay. Um, Women seem to understand and grasp the concept that there's a difference between sex and making love, and men don't seem to grasp that concept. Um, or at least mine didn't, put it that way. In fact, he even told me there's no difference. And just women have a more openness and willingness to please, um, and not just in the bedroom, but in every aspect of a relationship. Okay, I'm a people pleaser. Um, I try to go out of my way to make you happy and give you things that you want, or give things that you need, or make you feel good about yourself or whatever. And my partner is pretty much the same way. She just goes about it in a little bit different way, but the meaning is still the same. Okay. Um, in a heterosexual relationship, I didn't have that. I mean, I got taken out to dinner, or got flowers or a gift on my birthday, anniversary, and Christmas. That was it. I didn't never really get a just because card, which I get all the time from my partner now. And previous partners as well. Um, I didn't get just because I love you notes. Uh, I didn't get you had a hard day at work. Let me cook dinner tonight. Okay, I didn't have that kind of what's that kind of emotional backup with a heterosexual relationship. Women are more susceptible and open to discussing things they like or don't like in the bedroom. Whereas most heterosexual men that I've come across aren't so open about that. It's very vanilla, I guess is the word that's used. And don't think that these differences are why I am a lesbian. I am not a lesbian because I did not have a good sexual or emotional relationship with a man. Okay, because I knew I was a lesbian before I married. There were lots of reasons behind why I got married. Maybe we'll get into that in a different video, but like I said, I did love him. Okay, I guess maybe in a way, I thought if I got married and had children, that I would grow to love him and be the heterosexual wife, the heterosexual woman that society didn't look down on. But in the long run, it just really caused a lot more issues than happiness for me. Okay, but like I said, that's going to be maybe a video for the future. We'll see. When it comes to seeing and touching a man's body, I gotta say that a lot of the time, most of the time, I was very repulsed. I never had sex with the lights on. I have to say that the biggest part of the time, my mind was somewhere else. Whereas when it comes to having sex or making love to a woman, I have one focus. Okay? I'm going to be totally focused on that woman. And 99.99% of the time, I've found the same in return, that their focus is on me. Okay. I've found that heterosexual men and being in a relationship with a man, with the fact of them being very foreign to the ideas that women have, and the things that women go through, not just physically in their lives, but mentally as well. They have no clue. Okay. And a lot of men will say, oh, well, lesbians have it so easy because they're both women and they understand each other. Okay, on some aspects, that's absolutely true. But every woman is different. Okay. So really, we don't totally understand each other. That's where the openness and being willing to communicate comes in, and women have that willingness to open up their minds and be willing to communicate about what you're feeling. Now, don't get me wrong, sometimes you come across one that will tell you that's all they want is for you to open up and communicate, and then when you do, it's a bust. But 90% of the time, that's the key, is the communication. And in a heterosexual relationship, I didn't feel that I had that communication because he wasn't trying to hear what I was saying, regardless of what it was. Okay. He had his ideas of what a woman's place was and what a man's place was. And in my opinion, most men, at least from my generation, feel the same way. Like I said, the men nowadays, they're a little more open and willing to help out and try to understand. Okay. But there's still that part of them that feels this is a man's place, this is a woman's place. Okay. There's just so many differences that I'm trying to put them all together in my head. Back to the part of when it comes to seeing and touching a man's body, that it repulsed me. I don't get that from a woman. I love to look at a woman's body. Everything about a woman's body is beautiful to me. Okay, whether she's skinny, heavyset, in between, and I've dated women of all stature. Okay, it's just the woman's body and mind is just so fascinating and beautiful to me. There's just really nothing negative I can say about it. Whereas a man's body, it's hairy and disgusting. It's, I don't know, they've got penis, and that is the most disgusting thing to me. I just, to be honest with you, not having to have one of those anywhere around me or touch it anymore, is the best thing that ever happened to me. It's just, I, I guess maybe during that relationship, although I felt repulsed, I pushed it out of my mind. To be able to do things that I felt were my wifely duties. Okay, and that's another thing. As with my heterosexual experience, I felt that I was performing a duty. I wasn't made to feel, and didn't at any time that I can recall, made to feel that it was for me. Okay. I always felt that it was a wifely duty. Okay. Um, Now after I divorced, Before I started having relationships with women, and I came out, I did date other men, because I was still in the closet. Okay, and um, even with them, I felt like I was performing a duty. I felt like a woman is supposed to do this for a man. Whereas when I'm with a woman, we're performing it for each other. Okay, um, we're giving each other that closeness. And it's not just about sex. It's with every aspect in our relationship. Okay, I feel a lot more respected in a lesbian relationship than I ever did in a heterosexual relationship. Um, in every aspect of the relationship. Okay, I feel like my opinions are more respected. Um, I feel like when I ask for help with something, that the fact that I need help or I wouldn't have asked is respected. Um, it's more equal on everything. Um, and I'm not saying that all men are like that. I'm just saying my experiences in heterosexual relations are this way, or were this way. Okay. And this is more for the older generation, I guess you might say, because like I said, there nowadays men aren't so tuned out to a woman's needs as they were in my day. Not saying, like I said, that all of them are more in tune, but I would say there's a lot more men that are more in tune with um, actually understanding or trying to understand what a woman's about. Okay. Yeah, like I said, just everything about a woman makes me feel good. Everything about being in a relationship with a woman makes me feel good. Okay. Even when we argue, it's different. Okay. Um, we're more on the same level. Um, I I personally did not feel that in a heterosexual relationship. Um, I I guess it's because we don't have that or didn't have that um, connection. I've never in my life been able to connect with a man like I connect with a woman. Okay, um, especially in relationship wise. Okay, um, so yeah, that's my experiences of a heterosexual versus a lesbian relationship. Um, if you've experienced anything different, if you've been in a heterosexual and lesbian relationship, or even a heterosexual and gay relationship, or maybe even some of the bisexuals being with both, drop me a line in the comments and let me know, what your experiences are as far as one sex or the other goes. Um, and be sure to like and share and subscribe. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. Until next time.